The love story of Ferishteh and Manuchehr began during the endless anxious times of the Islamic Revolution. It all began one day when Manuchehr rode his motorcycle to rescue Ferishteh from the hands of the Shah's police officers who had surrounded her. A war broke out only a couple of months after beginning their new life. Iraq had thrown the first stone towards Iran, and Manuchehr was not one to stay at home with his revolutionary spirit. Knowing that the time would come soon when he would have to leave, he spent his every waking moment with Ferishteh. The hearts had become intertwined with each other's. Today, we dive into the story of Manuchehr and Ferishteh. Let's start. The father knew that Ferishteh was somehow involved in something, although he didn't know exactly what it was. Ferishteh and her sister Fariba studied at the same school, and Fariba saw her ditching school and going out with her friends. She informed father, but he turned a blind eye to it. Nevertheless, he considered sending Ferishteh away from Tehran to either Ahvaz or Iraq to stay with relatives. But Ferishteh thought, so much the better. I can get my work done more easily in Iraq or Ahvaz because they're small cities. Wherever they would send her, she would have more freedom and things would get worse for the family. She followed the news closely, and whenever something was about to happen, she was the first person on the scene. She didn't miss any rallies. She and her friends acted as security guards. Her father didn't even know that during the rally on November 7th, 1978, she had been chased by the police and had come very close to getting caught. Welcome back to another episode of the Unwithering Flames series, Book 4. With that said, let's dive in and read a bit of the book. On November 7th, the guards of the Shah prohibited people from demonstrating. We tried to escape, but the guards chased after us. They took my chador and scarf off and started to hit me around my waist with their batons. Suddenly, a motorcyclist who was passing by took my elbow and dragged me on his motorcycle. My feet were dragging on the ground and my shoes were about to come off. He stopped after passing some alleys. There were many manifestos hidden in my clothes, some of which were visible. "Do you have manifesto papers?" he asked. He had a helmet on his head, so I was unable to see his face. "Yes, I do," I said. "Which group do you belong to?" he asked. "What do you mean by which group? These are Imam's manifesto papers," I replied. He took off his helmet and asked again, "Do you distribute Imam's manifesto notes?" I felt insulted. What was wrong with me? Why couldn't I do this? "Why are you doing this while Imam's words have not influenced you? Why have you come to a demonstration like this?" he said. Then he turned his head away. I looked at myself. I had not covered my head with anything, but this was not unconventional back then. My clothes were messed up as well. He raised his hand to get the manifesto papers, but I didn't give them up. "I will turn you in," he said. I was frightened, so I gave him the papers. He returned one of the papers and said, "Go read it. Pursue these matters only if you understand them." I could not be indifferent to his words. "Are you a true follower of Imam Khomeini? Hasn't Imam told you not to prejudge? First see what has happened and then speak. I had a chador and scarf, but those guards snatched it from me," I said. "Really?" he said. And I replied, "Why should I lie to you? Who do you think you are?" He gave the papers back to me and told me to stay put until he came back. But I followed him to see where he was going and what he was up to. He, along with some of his biker buddies, went to where the rally was being held, and they beat up a few of the guards and crashed some of their car windows. Then he brought back my chador and scarf that were left there. I didn't want him to know that I had chased him. I started to run to the place where I was supposed to wait, but he got there sooner. He gave the scarf and chador and said, "They should know not to take a Muslim woman's chador." He took the papers. "The path you have chosen is dangerous. Take care of yourself, young lady." he said, and then he left. Young lady, she thought, outraged. After all that ranting and raving, he had had the nerve to call her a young lady, whom everyone treated with such delicacy. Young lady. She shook out her chador and tightened her headscarf. She didn't know why, but she found herself liking the young man. At home, no one had ever told her what to wear, who to go out with, what to read, or what to watch. But that young man had rebuked her for not wearing hijab. Despite his harsh words, he had somehow captured her heart. Later, it hit me who he was. He was Manuchehr, our neighbor's son, but I had never seen him before. My family had a close relationship with his family. I had heard his name, but I hadn't seen him. I saw him yet again on the 10th of February. Though they had grown up only a few houses apart, life had kept their hearts strangers until that day. Their families had known each other for years, and one family trip to the Green Hills outside Tehran would give the love courage to speak. Her father and Manuchehr sat next to each other, speaking quietly. She found a long stick, placed it on her shoulder, and called the children to take them to the riverside. Manuchehr followed at a distance. The kids soon began splashing in the river, using the stick for support. Ferishteh sat down on a rock and dipped her hands into the water. Manuchehr approached her, crossing his arms over his chest as he stood in front of her. I want to go to Pave, or wherever I'm needed. I can't just sit here doing nothing, he said. Okay then, don't stay. I don't know how to say it. She preferred people to speak frankly and hated beating around the bush, especially if her potential future spouse was speaking to her. She thought that he needed to be able to swallow his pride and pour out his heart to her. So first go learn how to say it and then come back to me. Ferishteh replied. Manuchehr ran a hand through his hair at a loss for words. He stood there for a few moments and then left. My father asked me a couple of times, Ferishteh, did Manuchehr say anything to you? I always replied, no, how come? And he would say, nothing, just asking. He had asked for my father's permission to talk to me. My father liked and trusted Manuchehr a lot. Even after knowing that Manuchehr had fallen in love with me, he let us go steady. I trust Manuchehr more than my eyes, he said. Most of the time, while Maryam and I were leaving for our class, Manuchehr would be returning home from work. We used to meet each other in front of the door, and he would give us a ride to the class. Once, he locked the car doors from the inside and didn't let me get out. If you do not listen to my words, I will not let you go, he said. Your words must be from the bottom of your heart, then I will listen to them, I said. Manuchehr started to talk. If this revolution needs me, and if I need you, I will choose the revolution and my country, and then my feelings. But I love you, he continued. I will not hinder your studies, work, or activities, provided that you won't hinder mine either, he said. Let me approve of you first, then you may put forth any conditions, I said. He went as red as a beetroot. I took a glance at the mirror of the car. His eyes were full of tears. I could not bear it. If I answer, wouldn't you think that I was being too eager? He looked at me in the mirror. I have been waiting for your words for a long time, I said. He could not believe it. Then he unlocked the doors and I got out. He moved his head closer. Since when? He asked. Since the 10th of February, I replied. Manuchehr felt over the moon. He hit the gas pedal and drove away as fast as he could, even forgetting to say goodbye to her. She smiled to herself. Why had she revealed those things to him in the first place? She just knew that her father would be happy, perhaps even happier than she was. But she was nervous. After all, she was only 16 years old, and this was unprecedented in her family. Her mother had married at 20, and whenever a suitor appeared, her mother would always say that her daughters wouldn't marry before 25. At such times, Ferishteh would often joke, they won't let us get married and leave. Then she would tap her frowning mother's shoulder to make her smile. Those words had been playful, but now reality loomed. She was scared. Life came with so many responsibilities and she felt unprepared. They married on Eid al-Adha. Who is being sacrificed now? Farishta playfully taunted. Manuchehr knew he couldn't win an argument with her and just stared at her. She turned her gaze and said, "No need to think too hard. Obviously me." He burst into laughter. Farishta held between her fingers the pendant Manuchehr had given her at the wedding ceremony. She turned it around and looked at its back, where Manuchehr had got the date February 10th, 1979 engraved. Now she felt that if Manuchehr's words sounded beautiful to her that day, today every bit of him was valuable and beautiful to her. Manuchehr was the man of her dreams, trustworthy, lovable, and brave. I did not know how to cook. After our marriage, the first dish that I cooked was Istanbuli. I asked my mother on the phone how to cook it, but it did not go well and came out like soup. Although it was watery, Manuchehr ate it and even praised it. However, I was reluctant to eat. The next day, I made meatballs, but they were more like rocks rather than food. Manuchehr had prepared the table and he was playing marbles with them. He laughed and said, "I have to tolerate my wife's cooking and even eat rocks until she learns." He said to me, "Cook them one by one carefully and you will get the hang of it." That day marked a covenant, written not only on paper but etched into the deepest part of their hearts. Years would pass, challenges would rise, yet their hearts never loosened from one another. They were two souls fighting the same war, hand in hand, and every sunrise stitched them closer together. When Manuchehr woke up, there was a smile on his lips, but his eyes were tired. He said, "Farishta, it's time to say goodbye." "Don't say that," I replied. He said, "Let me tell you about my dream. Then you can decide if you would stay in this world if you were in my place." I sat on the bed and took his hand. He said, "I dreamt it was Ramadan and the table for iftar was set. Reza, Muhammad, Behruz, Hassan, Abbas and the other martyrs were all sitting at it. I was feeling envious of them when suddenly someone tapped my shoulder. It was Ebadian. He said, 'Where have you been, buddy? Look at how long you've kept the guests waiting for you.' I hugged him and said that I too was weary. Ebadian placed his hand on my chest and said, 'Say goodbye to Farishta. Tell her to let go of you. Only then can you come to us, but not by force.' But I wasn't ready. Manuchehr said, 'If it's what's best, God himself will bring you peace.' I said, 'That wasn't our agreement.' He replied, 'Some things are beyond our control. I too can't bear being away from you, but we have no choice.' His breathing had become shallow. I helped him walk a little, washed his hands and face, and sat him on the bed. I combed his hair, and he looked in the mirror, touching his sparsely black beard that had grown back somewhat thicker. It had been a few days since I last trimmed it, and he liked how it had filled out. He leaned back on the bed and closed his eyes. They brought in food. I pulled the table closer. He said, "No, bring me that food over there," pointing towards the window. I couldn't see anything. I placed my hand on his shoulder and said, "The food is right here, my dear. What are you pointing at?" He opened his eyes and said, "I'm talking about that food over there. How can't you see it?" He was seeing things I couldn't, and his words were beyond my understanding. He didn't touch the food. Dr. Shafayan called me and said, "I don't know how to say this, but Mr. Mudeq won't last until tonight. His left lung has failed and his heart is enlarging. Shrapnel is embedding itself into his heart." I could no longer keep up the pretense. From that moment on, my tears never dried. Manuchehr couldn't find peace either. He would lift himself from the bed, rest his head on my shoulder, and drift back into an uneasy sleep. The intensity of his pain left him unable to sleep or sit still. I rested my head on his hand. He said, "Pray." I was so agitated. I started reciting the Quran hurriedly. 1 Surah Al-Fatiha 3 times, Surah Al-Ikhlas, 1 Surah Al-Qadr, and so on. He laughed and said, "It seems you are more eager to meet Allah than I am. I should be the one reciting all these verses, not you. We've changed roles. Why are you so flustered?" We hugged and cried together. He said, "Please, for God's sake, for the sake of Lady Zahra's beloved, let go of me." I had become selfish, holding on to Manuchehr for myself, ready for him to endure the worst pains just to stay in this world. I raised my hands in prayer and said, "Oh God, I accept your will. I don't want Manuchehr to suffer any longer." Manuchehr smiled and thanked God. His mouth had gone dry, so I gave him some water, pouring it gently into his mouth, but he couldn't swallow, and it spilled from the corner of his lips. Still, he beautifully showed his gratitude by saying, "Oh Hussein." And so the world believed their story had reached its final page, but love, true love, is not confined by breath or heartbeat. Manuchehr left this world, yet remained stitched into the very fabric of Ferishta's soul. To others, his journey ended that night, but Ferishta knew love does not die. It simply learns to live in unseen places. Sometimes Manuchehr comes to us like a breeze, brushing past my face. His familiar fragrance drifts through the house. The kids sense it too. He greets us and we hear him. I feel he isn't at peace in that world, just as I'm not in this one. He is alone there and I'm alone here. When he was with me, I never knew the depths of sorrow. Now there is no joy. The world has seen countless discoveries, but one problem remains unsolved: the remedy for a broken heart. No elixir, no potion has been able to heal the wounds of love lust. Thank you so much for being with us in this video. We hope you check out other videos from the channel. See you next time.